Look at that. Boy George, go girl.
I got the blush, got the eyeshadow.
Hashtag Melinda's hair, everybody.
Did somebody call out to Kitty? Because we got to call her again.
Her
All
last
right,
message.
people. Hola. Bonjour. Welcome to Mother Supreme's Cabinet of Curiosities. This week, we're going to be discussing AHS 1984. But before we get into the discussion, let's introduce our panel. We have right here Lady Di. Or just Di. But I like Lady Di. Rocking these curls tonight is IrishMeli.
Hi, everybody.
And her Funko Pop kittens. Yes.
I got to get someone for tonight.
We can have Magic Mike and his Harry Potter ones. Yes.
What's up?
And we have myself, which is Dr. Frost. AKA, y'all know who I am. I wasn't here last week, and much love to everybody who gave me wishes. I know you guys did. Yes. I was going through it, but I'm better now. So.
And hopefully Kitty will be joining us.
Yes, hopefully Kitty and MaryGirl Moody. Hopefully, eventually, maybe. Okay, so last week, of course, I wasn't here, but it was Hotel Part 2, and I saw the video. We left with the question of serial killers and who was your favorite serial killer. Now, since I was a watcher, I have to answer the question, and the question is, who is your favorite serial killer? And I'm going to have to go with Catherine from the Vampire Diaries, not somebody in real life. So, because I can't think I can have a favorite in real life. It's got to be somebody from TV.
That's what I said when the question was proposed. I was like, what a sick question.
So, to the people in the comments section, Dawn Ford, what up? Yo. Debbie Baby, yes. BRT, yes.
Hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
All right. Mary should be showing up. Hopefully, because I made the little promo. But, you know how things goes. Life.
Yeah, we're trying to get Mary on. She was going to come on this afternoon. Mary might have some family things going on, but if she does not make it at the beginning of the show, she'll pop in anytime she can get freed up to join us and join in the discussion. She knows what's going on. If not, I'm sure she'll be with us next week for sure, because it's her favorite topic. Hotel would be next week, so.
Which was supposed to be this week's, but Ryan, of course, blasted us literally into the 80s with his promo that went up on Instagram. So that is going to be this week's discussion. Lady Di is going to start with the histories of the 80s.
Yeah, just to clarify real quick, remember we're doing, to let the audience know, we're doing everything of 1984, not just AHS related. We're going to talk a little bit about what was going on in 1984, our personal experiences of 84, politics, pop culture, movies, songs, and then how 84 fit into the AHS franchise and so far in the storyline that we know. Hit it, Di.
Okay, can you see me okay? Because it says I'm off air.
I see your picture.
No, I see you. I mean, you're a little laggy, but you're good.
Because I'm streaming on my phone and I'm not on there, so I just want to make sure. Hey, everybody. So I was fortunate enough to be 21 in 1984. I remember the 80s in general were just really kind of a fun time. Yeah, I'm fucking old. Cocaine was everywhere. Reagan was in the White House. It's really kind of interesting that he chose 1984 because so many things happened that would be relevant to American Horror Story. And as we go through the different things in history and talk with the panel, you'll see kind of how it'll all tie together. Kenny will take care of that for you at the end. MTV was really, really new. It actually played videos. It was also the first year for the MTV Music Awards.
When MTV
Music
See, I didn't know that.
incredible.
I thought MTV started in the 90s. I didn't know that.
No, the
They
80s.
started in 1980.
80s.
No.
And the first video was Video Killed the Radio Star by the Bubbles.
Video Killed the Radio Star.
And Kenny, you probably don't know about video jocks. We used to have video jocks. It was just like the radio. We would have a video jock come on and they would introduce, VJs. Mm-hmm. It's the best.
And the first time there was MTV award show was 1984. Music was pretty fucking fantastic back then. It was
the
so
best.
Amazing with pop, rock, R&B, hip hop. Def Jam formed in 1984.
Mm-hmm.
So you know it gave us like a Virgin, Born in the USA, Purple Rain, Van Halen, 1984,
Karma Chameleon.
It was just an amazing time for music as well as movies. You have Beverly Hills Cop, Footloose, Purple Rain, Ghostbusters, Splash. This is Spinal Tap. And the start of John Hughes' incredible career doing 16 Candles. Not to mention all of the slasher films, and Miss Melly Mel will get onto that a little bit later on in our broadcast. Vanessa Williams became the first Miss America to give her crown back because they found nude pictures of her in Playboy. The Cosby Show started.
See, that's something that they wouldn't do now, taking her crown because of that. Like,
yeah, it was such a big deal back then.
Times have changed.
You know, the Summer Olympics were boycotted by the Russians in Los Angeles in 1984. And then there was a couple of really bummer things that happened. There was a huge massacre in San Ysidro where the guy went crazy and he killed like 20 people at the McDonald's. And they identified the actual virus that caused the HIV virus. So it was such a great time, but it was also a bit of devastating time, just like other places. And I'm going to let Mike take it from here.
Yeah, just to segue off the, not to be a downer, but off the AIDS epidemic of the 80s. For those of you who don't know about the AIDS epidemic or didn't live through it, or wasn't, an adult to live through it, basically the beginning of the 80s was the confusion time where, people didn't understand. It hit gay communities very, very hard right in the beginning. So they labeled it the gay cancer. They were trying to find out what the DNA link was with gay people and in the disease. Anyway, like Di said, 84 was the big turning year. 84 was when they discovered the retrovirus. And that was the actual pieces of the puzzle that creates and forms HIV. And through that, we are where we're at today. Because of that identification of the retrovirus, we are where we're at. Not through a lot of heartache and pain and tears, but by identifying, that particular virus strain to be able to start beginning to treatment all the way up to the treatment that we have today. On a downer note, you guys know or may not know, the Reagan administration never mentioned the word AIDS, never mentioned the word HIV through the first 7 years of his administration, I believe. Somebody needs to fact check me on that, but his first huge chunk of both of his terms, very little funding ever went into research. So, the Reagan administration ignored a serious health epidemic almost his entire administration. So it's a real bummer. There's a great movie out there. If you haven't seen it, a miniseries called And the Band Played On, which shows a lot of the politics and a lot of the real heartache that was going on with, regular society, just ignoring the gay communities and what was happening. It was as fun as the 80s were. It was a very, very dark time with that. But 84 was important because of the retrovirus. So that's that. And
the one thing about that too is all the people who said that all the haters, they actually had a scientific reason for what was going on.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it made people actually have to wake up and really when they start to identify the causes and started identifying what they were actually looking for, they were able to tell the public this is not a gay cancer, this is not a DNA thing associated with gays. They're starting to get the language out there that this could happen to anybody. And the reason why it hit the gay community so hard in America is because in the 60s and the 70s you had the free love movement, you had the open sexuality movement, you had the big gay movement that happened in the 70s. You had bathhouses open up and sex clubs open
popping up, and through gay men's sex. During that time, it was very open, very free, very lots and lots of body fluids just exchanging left and right. Every single night in these large communities. So they were a large group of people in mass in one space, getting sick at the same time. So that's why it hit the gay community so hard. Not because they were gay, just because of the act of how this was transferred.
It was the
People are
lifestyle.
just ignorant.
Yeah, exactly. It was fear. It's all fear based, religion and fear based with the whole AIDS. But that's a whole nother show. We can go on that for days. I did pull up. We were going to go over some music and pop culture, and so we're going to let Kitty do some pop culture. She can get on before the end of the show. But dive into a whole bunch of the songs. But I do have a list of the 23 number one songs of '84. So it's Say 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 with Michael Jackson and Paul McCartney. Their duet kicked off the year. Then you have Yes, Owner of the Lonely Heart, Culture Club's Karma Chameleon, Van Halen's Jump, Kenny Loggins' Footloose, Phil Collins' Against All Odds, Lionel Richie, Hello. That's defined '84. Denise Williams, what is this? Let's Hear It for the Boy.
Let's Hear It for the Boy.
Mm-hmm. Who the fuck is this? Oh, Cyndi Lauper, Time After Time, Duran Duran's The Reflex, Prince, When Doves Cry, Ghostbusters, Ray Parker Jr., What's Love Got to Do with It, Tina Turner, Missing You. Who's that? John Legend?
Oh, John Waite.
John Waite. Yeah, for Missing You.
John
Yes.
Legend.
I know. John, was I right? Yeah, John Waite. Yes. Prince.
He was
Let's
also
Go
the
Crazy.
singer for the Babies.
Yes. So Prince had two songs on '84, When Doves Cry and Let's Go Crazy, but also the movie Purple Rain was out in '84. Yeah. Stevie Wonder's I Just Called to Say I Love You, Billy Ocean's Caribbean Queen, Wham's Wake Me Up Before You Go Go, Daryl Hall and John Oates is what's their song? What was the Hall and Oates song? No.
Well, there's a bunch of them.
Out of Touch, and Madonna's Like a Virgin. And that's it. Those are all the number one singles of 1984. So huge time for music. You have Madonna, you got Duran Duran in there, you got Culture Club in there, Prince, Hall & Oates. It's all the definition of the 80s. Michael Jackson was even on the charts, 84. So there you go. So because Kitty's gone, we're gonna go to Mel.
So I touched on some of the popular movies, the Ghostbusters, the Beverly Hills Cops of the world. But Miss Melinda is going to talk to us. Miss Melly Chaos is going to tell us all about slashers, which were huge.
84 was like a culmination of like an amazing time for horror in general. But that was like a big breakout of the slasher films where they all kind of really started from. There was some before, there were obviously lots after, but it was just like, boom, in your face. Everybody was doing it, but everybody was doing it in a very unique way. So it was still very appealing to fans. And then true fans were able to just kind of soak up all of this, slasher and horror being brought out and put in their face. And things weren't as graphic and gory as they are now, as they call it torture porn. Saw is considered torture porn. And I had to look that up not that long ago because I'd never heard that term. I'm like, what the hell? No.
And
I love horror, but I just never had heard that term used for it. And it makes perfect sense, though, because you have all of just the torture and everybody's really into that and all this excitement of that. But it was very much, the babysitter who was being chased and, tracked down by a killer, a slasher, or the campers in the woods, or, the guy next door.
Kenny, call Kitty. Kenny, did you hear that?
Yeah.
I mean, just some of the biggest ones that you can think of right away. A Nightmare on Elm Street, Gremlins, Friday the 13th, Part 4, the final chapter, which was one of the best ones, if you ask fans.
They have like 8 chapters.
Yeah, but most people think that was like one of the best ones for Jason.
Yeah, absolutely.
Obviously Friday the 13th is a classic, but we have to remember that in Friday the 13th, Jason's not the killer.
Correct.
That comes later. So in Jason movies, where he's the slasher, a lot of the fans like their favorite is chapter 4 or part 4, the final chapter.
Is the two Corey Feldman movies.
Final.
Can you plug that in?
Hashtag Kinky Kitty has arrived on the scene.
Welcome, Kinky Kitty.
Hi, Kitty.
Hey, I was just gonna do mine from the comments.
No,
you're here. Do yours.
And then I wasn't sure if Mary was aware of it. I wanted to save it for her and let her know. Well, one of the big ones too was Silent Night, Deadly Night was 84. Like, it wasn't the birth of Santa Claus Christmas horror, but it is, which Black Christmas was the start of Santa horror, but that was before. But this was the one that everybody remembers. Most people don't remember Black Christmas. It was kind of a letdown. It's still a classic, but I think in comparison to what has been done since, it wasn't as good.
Isn't the
Silent
font
Night Deadly was amazing?
Isn't the font for AHS 1984 the Silent Night Deadly Night font? Somebody was saying this morning on Twitter.
It looks similar to me. Yeah, but it's not the same.
Okay.
It's got more of a. It's hard to describe. Silent Night, Deadly Night is more of like a rounded drip.
Oh, and not that
more bubbly, but not like that deep down slasher or blood drip.
But Friday the 13th had some of those slasher marks.
Yes. It was very reminiscent to me. The whole thing was very reminiscent to me of Friday the 13th. The essence of the killer, the size of the killer, his speed, what he was doing, how he was chasing her, the knife. It looked like it was a campground, but it might not have been. We know it was the woods. But she went into some kind of cabin, which to me is also right away, I think, Evil Dead. But obviously that's before 84.
Oh, yeah.
He had what looked to me, did anybody else catch it? It looked like a stocking hanging down over his face. Is that what you guys saw too?
Yeah, that's what I saw.
Yeah.
I rewound it and watched it again, but it looked like a stocking to me. But
yes, it's just some kind of mask.
Covering. Yeah. Let's see what else. Toxic Avenger. I mean, it's not horror, but it is a cult classic. You know what I mean? For that genre. And it is kind of considered horror. Slightly. It's like comedic horror, I guess.
Yeah.
We have Firestarter, Children of the Corn. Now, whether you like them or not, they are classics. People will remember these films. People will judge if they're remade, which they have. And Firestarter is set to come out later this year as a remake. But with Stephen King getting more involved with the culmination of his movies being done, I think that it's going to be done a lot better. I think that there'll be more thought process behind it because he's had the failures that he's had in the past that he wasn't happy with and been very vocal about.
Well, it changed the perspective for him completely. When it Part 1 came out, that was a new ball game for King movies.
Right. Definitely. Then we have lesser known movies too. The Company of Wolves. We have Night of the Comet. We have the cult classic Chud. Now,
yes.
Chud was amazing. I don't care who you are. If you grew up in the 80s and you like that type
Is that
of
the one that lived in the sewer?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. And it's funny because Jordan Peele's Us that just came out, that was kind of a something he played off of, right, with an homage, because he did quite a lot of homages if you pay attention to the Easter eggs in that movie. But that was one of his inspirations kind of for that movie too, which is interesting.
Yeah.
The Initiation, Don't Open Till Christmas, Superstition, Splatter University.
Oh, Splatter University is great.
And then with Wes Craven's Invitation to Hell.
Wow. It's 84.
Boggy Creek 2, The Legend Continues. Monster Dog. Piranha Mender. Razorback, that one. The wild boars that terrorized the nation.
Who financed these things?
It was a lot of cheesy stuff in 1984.
Mm-hmm.
But it was good because it was just fun.
We had Silent Madness, Bog, Deadly Intruder, Innocent Prey, The Prey, which is a great book, by the way. Satan's Blade, Scream for Help, The Sea Serpent, Strangler versus Strangler, which gets a very high rating on IMDb still to this day. Yes. Like most movies will get like a 5.5, 6 stars.
Mm-hmm.
This one gets over 8 stars regularly. And then just to kind of like wrap all that up, there was also the documentary Terror in the Isles, which was, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it was the compilation.
I remember that.
Right. The scenes from many science fiction, crime dramas, and horror films from the 30s all the way through the 80s. So looking at that, I was thinking that might be something interesting to take a look back at if it's specifically going to be AHS 1984 for slashers, because that's something. But the thing is if that came out in 84, we're not going to see anything that also came out in 84. But knowing that came out in 84 means that it could also be inspiration for previous killers and slashers and horror victims.
Hey, look who's here.
Yes.
What's up?
Hello.
Hey guys.
Supreme.
Welcome.
I'm so sorry. I've just been having some internet problems, and then I had the neighbor kids over here, so now I'm finally got moments to meet. How are y'all doing? I've missed y'all.
Good. How are you?
Great. How are you?
We are on air too.
Yeah, yes, I'm just having a good day now that I'm with you guys. So,
awesome.
Where were y'all at? Where were y'all talking?
We were just kind of wrapping up slasher films from 84.
Oh my god!
I basically done it. I mean, what do you think about that?
I just think about Nightmare on Elm Street. That's the first thing that I always think about. 1984 slasher movies and Gremlins.
Yes.
So forget Gremlins because they don't always think of it as a horror film, but it really was a horror film.
Oh, absolutely. At the time, it was. It was Gremlins 2 changed its. Huh?
I said hashtag Johnny Depp. Yes.
Johnny Depp wasn't in Gremlins.
No, Nightmare on Elm Street.
No, he was in Elmer Street.
Yeah, Elmer Street.
I thought the same thing. I was like, wait, he wasn't in Gremlins.
But Phoebe Cates was. Phoebe Cates is the bomb.
Phoebe Cates was.
Lace. Lace is one of my guilty pleasures. Which one of you bitches is my mother? Y'all seen Lace?
I haven't.
I have. Yes. Absolutely.
That's my guilty pleasure. I watch it every year.
Such a long time.
I'll go check it out now since you recommended it.
It's a fun miniseries. So 80s. So 80s.
Mother Supreme is here in the building. Yes.
Oh, you guys are awesome. Absolutely. No, thank you so much for inviting me. I kept telling everybody, I want to go stream. I'll see you guys later. And then when I came home, I was like, here's the kids. Here's everything. Deuces. So, you know.
Some of the admins are on too in the comments there, Mary.
Oh, badass. Okay.
Betty, Dawn Ford, BRT.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Did it?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Miss Kitty. You ready to roll?
Mm-hmm.
Next up.
Okay. This is kind of shticky. My whole thing is just shticky, but 84 pop culture was shticky. But it led the way for so much of today.
Yes.
if you had $2.50, you could go watch a movie. Some
Yes.
of the movies that like led the way was Ghostbusters, because without that we couldn't have Ghostbusters 2. I'm a music nut, so Amadeus was a big one for me.
Amadeus.
Star Trek
Best
3.
I can't sing anymore, Mike.
I think
Copyright.
3 was the restaurant. No, I don't remember what Star Trek 3 was. I can't remember which one.
Yeah, search
But,
for Spock.
Search for Spock. So more money for Gene Roddenberry. Gremlins, like Mary had said, which without that we couldn't have Gremlins 2. And Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. So like for $2.50 you could go watch those in the theater. And I remember getting to go and see Ghostbusters because we were poor, but we could afford a movie ticket, and so we popped some popcorn and threw it in yes, I'm gonna admit that I did a bad, but we put popcorn in a bag and in a drawstring bag, took it in the movie theater. You know, my brother was small, so we had a diaper bag, so we had concessions in the, I'm probably going to go to like jail now for that.
Don't feel bad. I just did this Tuesday. You did it years ago. I did it Tuesday.
I did the same thing. My mother would have us wrap up Sprite in like Dr. Pepper cans and foil.
Yes.
Cold, and then you stick them in your jacket or, somewhere a little inconspicuous, and then just cough really loud when you're trying to open the can in the theater.
I did trunks into the drive-ins. We used to ride in the trunks.
I'm like, what is the statute of limitations on concessions pirating?
I didn't know it was $2.50 freaking cents. Nowadays it's like $100.
Opened it up. Nope, didn't even hide it. Didn't care.
No, I didn't either.
And like,
we used to bring sandwiches in.
Yes, and we did too. I don't feel bad. I don't feel as bad now.
No, you with friends.
If you guys ever saw the movie Scary Movie, where Linda is sitting there with the fried chicken, I mean, she's got a bread.
I say that all the time.
That's my kind of person to go to a movie with. It's just as long as she doesn't talk so much. But
every time I'm in the movie theater, I turn to whoever I'm with and I say, "You want some chicken?"
Yeah, right.
And now, if you had $600, you could get yourself a brand new color TV, which you could watch Dynasty on.
Yes.
Or Falcon Crest. I mean,
Dynasty and Dallas shot.
And
Miami Vice.
Like and Knight Rider and A-Team, and then Cheers, which lasted for like a million years.
Yeah.
In my house we watched Magnum PI, Hill Street Blues, Cagney and Lacey, and Knight Rider, because that was crime-ish. But without all those crime shows, there wouldn't be such a run on Law and Order. There wouldn't be so many freaking Law and Order addicts, I don't think.
No.
And Johnny Depp. Fucking Johnny Depp. I cannot even. I don't know what year 21 Jump Street came out in, but we watched that religiously. Like, my mom reminded me on Facebook the other day when I did one of those name tests, and it was getting drunk with Johnny Depp. And my mom's like, "You have always liked him." I'm like, "Way to roll me, Mom."
It's all about Grindelwald.
Yep. Good home, like 3-bedroom, 2-bath homes would cost you like $97,000 to $110,000. That's like damn affordable. Little kids were playing with My Little Pony and Care Bears and G.I. Joes.
Transformers.
And
yes,
we had Reagan and Bush in the White House, which, I'm not even, I can't even hide the disgust on my face. But yeah, without that, we wouldn't have other. DNA profiling came out in 1984. Which, without that, there'd be killers running around. Not the fun kind either.
Absolutely.
Not that there's a fun kind. Do not, please. Disclaimer. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
They just caught Jack the Ripper through DNA profiling.
What?
Yes, exactly.
The other
And
week, last week. The week before.
I want to say that in 1984, as horrible as it sounds, and it's going to sound shticky, but if Prince wanted to buy his little red Corvette then, it would have costed him $23,392. Ironically, a sequin beret was in fashion, so that raspberry sequin beret, it was very much some Prince time, and I'm glad about that. Yes. The original Apple Macintosh computer PC was unveiled in January of that year.
Wow.
Argyle sweater vests, which some of you younger people are not going to know what that is. So if you've ever watched Fresh Prince of Bel-Air,
yeah,
Carlton wears Argyle sweater vests.
Mm-hmm.
And dudes were wearing velour tracksuits, which, if y'all don't know what that is because you're too young, Biff Tannen in Back to the Future 3 wore one of those like the whole time in his mega casino. So yes. And like ColecoVision.
Oh, I love Coleco. I played Coleco.
Mm-hmm.
For you young people, we would not have Xbox or PlayStation if we wouldn't have suffered through ColecoVision first.
Pong! It's all about Pong.
Pong.
Yes, all about Pong.
Hell yeah. My teacher had a game called Mortal Pong Bat, and I just remember playing that thinking, oh my God, this is Pong from when I was a kid. So a computer game called Mortal Pong Bat. If anybody's ever heard of that or played it, just I don't know if it's still out there, but yeah.
I'm going to look for that. Di mentioned that MTV Music Awards first came out that year.
Yep.
Follow-up to that was Michael Jackson won acclaim for Thriller at that point in time, having sold 37 million. He had made $37 million plus.
Wow.
For that. That was
that's also the year he caught on fire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That was the year his hair caught fire.
Commercial.
Pepsi commercial.
I remember that. Pepsi commercial, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
All that money that he made, but couldn't buy decent hairspray.
Yeah.
Rest his soul.
Well, it was for the Jacksons reunion. Yeah, it was for the Jacksons reunion tour. They were doing the Victory tour or whatever, and it was a commercial that was going to promote that. And Michael Jackson was going to make that big entrance on that staircase doing Billie Jean, and his hair blew up. Poor thing.
1984.
But did you know? Here's a little bit of trivia about that. If you've ever watched the documentary on Michael Jackson, that incident right there was the start. That was the seed that planted his substance abuse addiction.
Really?
Because, yes, he got addicted to painkillers from that moment.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Well, it makes sense.
Yep. So that was the start of his death.
Our favorite wild child from England was born. Prince Harry was born September the 15th of 1984.
Really? Wow.
I know, right?
He's like, I have no responsibilities. I'm going to be the wild child. And I'm going to grow up and marry an actress.
Mm-hmm.
Harry was always like, I thought, the better looking of the two princes anyway. He was so adorable.
Preach.
His ears are less out there. Like, his ears are closer to his face. I'm probably going to hell for that.
Smaller Windsor ears.
Yeah, smaller Windsor ears. Oh, and I forgot to mention that I didn't get the statistics, but I figured it would be funny. Like I said, that a TV cost approximately $600. I was gonna make a dig about that remotes cost a hospital trip, room, board, and tuition. Because I was the remote control in our house.
Amen.
Because I was 7 years old and able to go turn the TV on.
Yep. Exactly.
And then we had like 2 bad things happen that year, pop culture wise, which I don't necessarily think that back then they would have thrown it into pop culture, but now we do, looking back. But like the beauty queen killer, who
killed 8
women and raped 8, he was not convicted, but he was guilty-ish because no conviction of 8 murders and 12 rapes. While he was being arrested, something happened and he died.
Wow.
So he was never convicted, but Christopher Bernard Wilder, killed during arrest, was our beauty queen killer from 1984. And there was also, I forgot the guy's name, but there was a subway vigilante that was killing African American men in New York City. So, like, in 1984, if you were black or you were pretty, it was, you were in your own horror movie for real. That's probably tacky to say, but I'm kind of
seriously, yeah,
off the cuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember being very happy as a small child with my Little Ponies and my Care Bears, and I'm not even gonna lie, I have My Little Ponies now and Care Bears now.
I do too, so it's okay.
I have my first stuffed animal that I got ever when I was, I think, like a year or 2 years old, was my green Care Bear, my Good Luck Bear, and I still sleep with him to this day. I don't care what anybody says.
But I was just looking for a green Care Bear for my best friend on Mercari the other day. How weird.
Yep. And
the more you know.
Yes.
We went to visit a place when we went to go see on St. Patrick's Day. We went and watched a parade, but there's a general store in downtown Greenville called Mass General Store. Mm-hmm. And I felt so old because they had the 35th anniversary My Little Ponies in there. 35th.
Oh my God. It can't be 35 years.
Yo, yeah. A few years ago was the 30th year of Transformers that I attended a big event for.
Yeah.
And that was a few years ago.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
I have a whole set of the 25th anniversary ones.
Yeah. I still have some My Little Ponies from when I was a kid. I kept them all these years to give to my kids.
Let me tell you, My Little Ponies are a hot commodity still. At Comic-Con, the Hasbro booth, one of the first things to sell out every single year is the My Little Pony.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
People are selling these little tiny ones like this that my daughter gets now of the new ones in a blind bag. If you get a certain one, people will spend like $30, $40 on this thing, if not more.
Yep.
And for like the young people, I just need you to know that you should go, and if you like My Little Ponies now, if you actually look at our My Little Ponies, a lot of them, their name spins off of each other. Like there used to be Twilight, now there's Twilight Sparkle, and they're similar colored. Yeah. Like younger people.
Is that sort of like with the strawberry shortcake? Mm-hmm. They kind of changed the scent and the names of the strawberry shortcake and like redid them. Yeah.
Yeah. They lost the trademarks. From what I hear, they did the same thing with G.I. Joe and Transformers when they couldn't get that.
We had all the badass toys.
They would change it because they lost the trademarks.
We had the best toys.
Yes, we did. We had the best toys. We had the best toys. We had the best cartoons. We had the best breakfast cereal.
Yes, breakfast cereal.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Oh wait!
Now I'm too old.
For you 80s kids, hold on.
How old was everybody in 1984?
Well, I'm an old lady. I was 21.
You're not old, honey. Trust me.
Okay, for you guys, you 80s kids and adults.
Okay.
Where's the switch thing on an iPhone nowadays? I don't even know. Oh well, here I'll just show you here. Who is that? You guys recognize that? Mary?
Is that a witch hat on top of there?
No, they're right here. These two. That's the Fruit Root and Yummy Mummy.
Oh, Yummy Mummy.
Mm-hmm. The limited edition. They were only out for like a couple years. When I was in the hospital the first time dealing with this, that's all I could eat because Target released the special editions of Fruit Root and Yummy Mummy commemorative editions the year I was in the hospital. So there's the only thing. That's why those are there because there's the only thing I can eat in the hospital. But I was like, oh my, that's such an 80s cereal.
wow. Yeah, all that stuff is definitely a blast from the past.
Yeah.
And then everything, of course, was made without GMOs, pesticides. I mean, everything actually was good.
We didn't worry about all that stuff for children back then. We didn't worry about, people having allergies to this or gluten allergies or this and that. We just ate.
Yeah.
The seatbelt.
There was no seatbelts in cars.
Right?
No.
I rode in the back of the station wagon with no seatbelt.
Yeah.
Like
Or my dad rode. Yeah. My dad rode a motorcycle, no helmet.
No, you didn't ride a helmet with your bike. I never put a bike on when I was riding a helmet. Riding a bike. I never put a helmet on. Never. My entire childhood.
Same thing.
Yeah.
And ladies with awesome hair like Melinda has right now gave no damn about the ozone layer. They just wanted their Aquanet.
That's right.
No hairspray tonight. I didn't put any hairspray in it.
So now we come to the fun part of the stream. The part where the theories come in.
Okay, here we go.
So I'm not going to necessarily do just 1984. Because a lot of stuff AHS-wise happened before, even around that time. So it's not all just going to be 84. So in 77, Tate was born. I don't know if it's going to be a children's camp, but if they wanted to have another crossover, that could be a situation.
He'd be 7, yeah.
He would be 7, yeah. At this point in time, Ramona gets with the Countess, so they're a couple still in the 80s. The murder house is abandoned in 78, so during 84, it's pretty much nobody owns it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that could be like a maybe camp story. Oh, there's a house that, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They could tie that in somehow. Let's see. In 78, the cult leader Jim Jones, all that shit went down.
In 84?
No, it was 78.
Oh, 70. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So in 1980, Kit develops pancreatic cancer and then gets abducted. So that was
justice for Kit. Justice for Kit. He's coming back in this season. This is where we're gonna get our aliens, and Kit's gonna make a
well,
return.
no, because Evan's not coming back this season.
Justice for neither was what's her face last season. Angela Bassett.
Angela Bassett.
Mm-hmm. He'll come back for one episode. Kit's return.
Okay,
Justice for Kit.
In 83, the murder house has been. Oh wait, so it's not abandoned. It was refurbished, and Constance just moves in, and I guess that's the year she kills her husband and Moira.
Is it?
Yeah. They move out.
Was it 83 or was it 84?
Well, they moved out in 84.
Oh, well, then it has to be in 84 that they did it.
Okay.
Okay, so here we also in 84. Liz checks into the hotel and becomes Liz.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So
wow. That's a big one.
84.
That's a big catch there, Kenny.
Mm-hmm.
I guess at this time, Alana Winters is hot and popping on television. Still. So she could have some sort of cameo like she did with Roanoke.
Was she doing television in the 80s? She had the documentary on the asylum. And
then she started her own television series doing like exposés and stuff.
Right.
I think.
Yeah.
What the fuck was the year that all that shit with Andy Warhol went down? That wasn't 80s, right? Was it?
No, it was the 70s.
The 70s.
77?
Well, we know Fiona is the Supreme. What year was Cordelia born?
See, some of this stuff we don't know. You'd have to go to like American Horror Story Wiki in order to get the information. But it is kind of hard because sometimes they don't give you that information in the show, so we're left to guess instead.
Counting dates and stuff, yeah.
Right.
Because I was going to say Cordelia could play a part in like a younger version of her. maybe going to a camp or something, just a small little.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, like a witch camp. No, that would
Here in
be
the 80s, Miss Speed is an agent and she's killing a bunch of people. So who knows that?
Warhol was still alive. He died in 87.
When was Valerie Solanas?
What the fuck is going on at the Roanoke house in 84? Who owns it?
Wasn't it? When did
Those
the Chins own it? In the 70s, wasn't it?
Well, the Chins were in the 70s, and then the Maids got it at 88.
Yeah, so it was abandoned.
So it's abandoned. That could be like another situation. Which, by the way, Bed and Dot married Dandy and became the sole owners of the fucking Roanoke house, and I guess they sold it to somebody.
Just Dot.
Oh my god, I never thought about
just Dot.
Yeah.
To the house. Wow.
But it's obviously
you're so damn good.
Well, I mean, I got it. We all got it, like Melinda and I, and it was a long time ago. But we still that could play some sort of part because at some point they told the situation off to people. So I don't really, know what's going on with that. But I guess that could be a material if they want to have another crossover or just a little cute something.
See, they need to hire you guys for American Horror Story to write. You guys are so fucking
keep
smart.
Continuity, at least.
Well, just to throw it out there, somebody had said something, and it actually makes sense. One of the theories could be that possibly the slasher might end up being Johnny Morgan. Because if you go back and watch his interview with the therapist, he talked about doing things when he was younger and what he was doing and acting on and stuff. And he says that he actually did it after he was kicked out of his foster parents' home. And it felt so good the first time. So that I forgot about that. And when I watched that clip, I was like, holy crap, he could be.
Well, the whole Asylum crossover could be Bloody-Face and not Asylum.
He could be. Also, if they want to tie in Asylum, they could. If Johnny's the situation, the Asylum is well abandoned at that point, so it would make sense to have a creepy camp story about an old asylum where a bunch of people died, and then Bloody Face, and then him actually showing up to kill. You know what I mean? Like that would be perfect for like a camp, especially if the camp is like, say they're in Massachusetts. I forgot what area.
It was Boston, I believe. Yeah, or in the state. Yes.
So I guess that's potential. A lot of shit though, like not even of what happened in specifically 84. It's just like what was happening
in the times,
like in general. You know what I mean? So like, what about Apocalypse? Like those characters, I guess the Warlocks, at that point they had their own above ground situation, and it was all grand because they didn't go underground until Cordelia came out and all that stuff. So again, there could be that. Hopefully they don't do California this year. I would think not, right?
No. Who knows? After the disaster of last year.
I don't know, but something's telling me that Lana is going to make an appearance.
Who? Lana Dunham?
Lana.
Maybe, yeah.
Lana Banana.
Lana Banana. Yes.
But don't you guys think that the George Orwell book where Big Brother is watching you now has something to do with this?
That's the first thing I thought of. That was the very first thing I thought of.
I personally don't. I don't think the show is going to go that in depth. To me, they don't seem very deep thinkers. So I mean, it would be nice. I just don't think that they're going to.
Yeah, because that's a huge concept.
But when I saw the trailer, I thought more slasher, Elm Street, Freddy.
That's what I thought too.
Making it in that kind of a way, like the way that it was filmed back then. That the the old school, slasher fun, in whether it's a camp or in the woods or wherever they are. I think it's going to be not so serious. I think it's going to be a little less intense and more fun.
Yeah,
if you could call a slasher fun.
if you look at some of the different genres that they've covered in Horror Story, he really likes to box a series into a very specific style and genre and stuff. So this is just a slasher film, probably.
I just have a feeling he's going to be real campy.
Mm-hmm.
He's been so serious about everything, and everybody's been comparing him and trying to make sure that all the timelines go together. He probably just wants to go, I don't want to deal with any of this. Because Murphy and I are around the same age. So we were both in our 20s in 1984. Mm-hmm. So maybe he just wants to say, screw it. I want to just do some nice, fun horror stuff. Throwback to then.
Debbie said in the comments, in 84, kids were about 24. So I guess they could be some sort of element of the season.
Oh.
That's
a great point, Debbie.
Am I the only one hoping for no crossover?
I am kind of done with the crossovers right now. It would be nice to get those nice little touches of each season. Yeah, that's great. But a crossover, I'm just kind of done with since they kind of foiled Apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm sorry they did. I really liked enjoyed Apocalypse. Excuse me, a little tongue tied. But
up
they
to
really
6.
Spoil it.
Yeah, up to 6, and then after 6, they threw the season away.
I want this to be its own season so that we can have a crossover later using this season and whatever they decide to throw in there.
I want to reverse time and never do a crossover to begin with. Never link any of the seasons. Keep it anthology.
Maybe fucking guys, I just thought of something. Maybe Mallory has a malfunction and blasts herself into 84.
Oh God. We're on this time loop now.
That would be hilarious, Kenny.
I'd give up. I quit.
Right, I think I would quit the show at that point.
I can't even deal with all this Mallory time travel and stuff.
God.
Kids.
Well, that's why
y'all
I think
have
he
to
wants
wait
to
till
go
we
the
cover
opposite way.
Apocalypse. We're gonna have so much fun doing that.
No, I'm gonna be absent. Okay.
I love how honest you are. No, not me. I'm gonna be absent.
Just count me out.
No, it's 80s. They're going to be doing cocaine.
Yeah. Okay.
Fucking Heathers. That reminds me of the movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Hashtag Tristan can smell it from 3 doors away.
Heathers
didn't come out in 84, but it came out in the 80s, I think.
Yeah, it was like 86, I think.
Okay, I would love to see a touch of like Heathers into America.
Oh, Heathers the best.
Yeah,
because Heathers basically kind of was his own little American Horror Story. It was so twisted and dark.
Yes, it was so dark. I love that dark comedy. Really good.
It was 88.
Oh, there you go.
Close enough.
Kind of.
See, all that good stuff was before we all became so overly sensitive and had to
Absolutely.
placate and make everybody happy. Like all the good shit was back then.
The 80s was the generation of indulgence, the generation of me, the generation of fun, and you know what? I'm all about it.
Just
so
look
don't
at
fuck this up, Ryan.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It was great. It was a good time. It was, everything wasn't so serious. I mean, yes, there were bad things happening, but not like
you didn't hear about it every
now I
second.
sound like a fucking old person.
Well, yeah, we didn't have to worry about the cell phones and social media and all that driving stuff in our face every second of the day.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you guys think it's going to be called 84? Do you think it's going to be called like Woods or something?
No, it's 1984.
1984, absolutely.
Yep.
But that's a bit vague, though. That's like a year. That's not really like a... You know what I mean?
Everybody thought the same thing.
Maybe he doesn't know yet.
No, it's 1984. They would not have broadcasted it like that on all of the major trades.
No, I meant
investors.
The situation.
Oh, he may not. I mean, look, Brad and him are the same way almost every season, or at least every other season. Is they kind of switch gears mid-season, so maybe they don't know where they're going yet.
Okay, so do you guys think this is going to be the year that Sarah Paulson wears those dental appliances?
No, I
She
think they
said
were.
she was supposed to, or do you
I
think
bet
that?
she was supposed to wear it preventable, and it just didn't work.
Well, fucking Joan Collins said she was playing 4 or 5 fucking characters. I want to know what happened to the rest of them.
They're in Joan's head.
I know. And some things that they say at the beginning of the year, or at the beginning, but way before the season, it just seems like it's bullshit that they spend to us just to keep the fans satisfied with bits of information, even though they don't come to fruition.
That, or I think there's a lot of think tanks.
Out.
Well, I think there's a lot of think tanks that go on in shows like this. You know, they try different things, or they talk about different things in different story groups, and so actors are picking up on some of the things the writers are saying in like some of these meetings and stuff, and it just doesn't come to fruition. But Joan's also
or they edit it,
up
or
there.
they cut everything. Like a lot of people get their stuff cut.
Yeah.
Like, wasn't he going to do 12 episodes originally of Apocalypse, and it was 11 or something? You know, like it was less than we thought it was going to be, wasn't it?
Well, on
only 10.
IMDb, it says season 9 is going to have 10 episodes, and I'm pissed about that.
No, I wouldn't go based on IMDb. Yeah.
But again, these are, as we're getting into the later number seasons, that tends to happen with TV shows. They kind of clock in at a lower level and just maintain that lower level. We'll see. I'm throwing it out there in the world, though. I keep telling you guys, Disney is going to can FX. I guarantee it.
So no,
FX is going. I don't want to. I'm just saying that Disney has no reason to keep that network. What have they got to gain from FX? It does nothing to their overall budget.
You're right.
That's my prediction.
Disney can't give us what we need for AHS, so it.
No, but they will though. Bob Iger came out and he talked a big old thing about is they said all of their adult rated R content. You know they got Hulu in the deal, so all of their adult rated R content and stuff like that is going to go on to Hulu, not on the Disney X streaming service. So they are keeping stuff like this. So I imagine if FX is canned, which I'm telling you it's going to be, something like Horror Story could continue over on a platform like Hulu.
Well, or Netflix. I mean, there's so many places you could go.
But Disney's not going to deal with Netflix anymore now that they own Hulu. Disney's pulling all of their crap from Netflix. And it's interesting
Okay, so
Ryan has that
AHS
deal with
every fucking Wednesday on Hulu. Yes.
maybe.
But he already has a deal with
That's
Netflix.
exactly.
He could bring it over if he wanted to.
I don't know. Does
So
Disney own AHS?
We still get another $2 freaking Netflix price raise without having Disney on there. That's not fair.
Netflix is too fucking expensive as it is.
I know.
Okay.
They wait till Disney pulls the rug out from under us. So you watch. They're all bragging right now. It's at $5.99 or whatever it is, and then a month later it's going to be like $25.99. Watch.
Fucking Disney is just turning into a major.
It's a monopoly.
Yeah, blob.
Hey, but at least Liz Taylor is a Disney princess.
Yes, she is. Yes, she
Yeah.
is now.
That's right.
All right.
Okay,
I'm going to give you guys a 2-minute warning.
Okay. Kenny, wrap it up.
All right, folks. Let me check the comments real quick. Debbie says that also the 1984 Olympic Games were here.
Yep.
And were protested by Russia.
Yes.
Yeah, that's when the astronaut.
They were boycotted.
I heard Disney owns 25% of the movie industry. Probably more than that at this point.
Yeah.
Way more.
Hashtag
They
fuck
probably
Disney.
even own some porn and don't tell anybody.
I thought with the acquisition of Fox, Disney
You never
owns.
fucking know.
Porn. I just.
Never know.
Say.
There's so many layers.
The percentage is out there somewhere.
Can I throw something in real quick?
Mm-hmm.
I think that like us the nerds would appreciate it if I wouldn't have forgotten that the first solo transatlantic hot air balloon flight was made by Joe Kittinger. The first untethered spacewalk was done with the Space Shuttle Challenger. And on the Space Shuttle Discovery, that the maiden flight, which had Sally Ride, which was the first American female to go into space. And then Richard Branson started his inaugural flight of Virgin Atlantic. So he started making his damn money and charging me way too much to fly back then. So sorry, I forgot the nerd stuff.
All right.
Okay. What do we guys want to have the question of the week? What's the question?
Melinda has the question.
Oh, I want to know what I want you guys to tell us in the comments below this video. If you had to pick any slasher to be the type of slasher that we're going to have in 1984 AHS, what would you guys pick if you could pick any type of slasher?
Like Freddy or
Jason,
Freddy,
Michael.
Jason, Michael Myers. It doesn't have to be from 1984. Just
Chucky.
what type of slasher? There you go.
Mary, what would you pick?
I would definitely be a Freddy Krueger type of person because I'm not gonna lie, that scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. However, Michael Myers really didn't too much. Neither did like the Slumber Party Massacre kind of movies and Sleepaway Camp. You know, those kind of great campy movies I definitely love. But the one that really scared the shit out of me was the Amityville Horror, The Exorcist, and A Nightmare on Elm Street. I would love for them to keep those really good horror elements.
Michael Myers was my ultimate fear, and I told you guys in the comments about how that happened to me.
That's right.
Freaked me out. My ultimate fear coming to life was one of the worst experiences of my life. Because I used to have dreams all my life of somebody just standing in the house
Chucky,
just staring at me. It's terrible. I know, right?
I do not. There's no dolls in my house. No.
There's some freaky dolls out there too.
No.
I remember that clown from Poltergeist scared the hell out of me when I was a kid.
All right, people. This week's. We were gonna do Hotel part. What was it? Part 3.
3.
But you know,
episodes 7, 8, and 9.
Literally. But you know, Ryan had to blast us out of our couches with that blast to the past. Literally. So this stream was the 84, and next week's, of course, will be Hotel. Tonight's special guest is the Mother Supreme herself. She is the reason this channel exists. We are a MaryGirl Moody spinoff. Yes.
And there's another MaryGirl Moody official spinoff coming. Mary, you want to plug it?
Oh, yes. Michael and I are doing a post season 2 after show.
Yes.
So we are really
another spinoff.
That show.
Okay, so in 5 years we're gonna be saying.
Sure.
So in 5 years we're gonna be saying, "Oh my God, all these Mary spinoffs! It's like
she's gonna be
universe.
An empire. She's
it's
an
like
empire.
Marvel. It's like Marvel, the Mary universe."
I wish.
Moody World. We could call it Moody World.
There we go.
Yay.
Thank you guys so much for having me. Very much. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. We thank you for coming on.
Yes. And see y'all next week for Hotel Part 3.
Hey, bye everybody.
Yes.
Bye everybody.